Hi, my name is Jeremy, this is Red Means Recording, and this is the ASM Ashun Sounds Machine Hydrasynth. We have been going over it piece by piece in a couple videos already. The oscillator section, the overview, the filter section, the mutant section in the last one, an incredibly powerful frequency spectrum shaping tool. In this video, we're going to talk about the ribbon, we're going to talk about the mixer section, and we're going to talk about maybe envelopes and LFOs real quick. So first, let's talk about the ribbon. The ribbon is exclusive to the Hydrasynth desktop. You may think it's one of those things that's sort of like a joke, but it's actually really powerful. So we're going to go to this ribbon ARP preset that I made and talk about what's going on here. So what's going to happen here is I have assigned this ribbon via the mod matrix to do a ton of stuff. As I push it up, so that is one mode of the ribbon, and we'll talk about it a bit more in a second. Here is another mode of the ribbon. It's pretty fun, right? So let's go ahead and go to an init patch and talk about how the ribbon works. So in ribbon mode, you can hit the ribbon button over here. Boop. Now I'm in ribbon thing. So let's see. There are multiple modes here for the thing. And in default mode, you get a pitch bend, which, you know, may or not be useful to you, considering you have a really nice pitch bend over here. So we don't care about pitch bend. This is theremin mode. Now, if your voice mode is set to polyphonic, you'll get 7 voices down here and 1 voice on the ribbon. And you can hear right now that it is like a theremin, that the pitch is completely continuous. You can change the glide to anywhere between 2 and 6 octaves. We'll leave it at 4 for right now. You can shift the ribbon up a few octaves or down from where the main keyboard is. Hold. We'll hold where you are. And this will get a lot more melodious in a second, I promise. Wheel volume. This will turn. So like a theremin, this will be your volume control if you want that to be. We're going to leave that there for now. Lock global. So if we have a whole bunch of stuff set to it, we can lock the settings there. On this page, we have access to turning the ribbon into a pitched instrument. So let's go back to quantize and turn that on. And pick a scale that's kind of interesting, like this scale. Pretty nice, right? So I'm going to keep it in C. Okay, so we've determined that this can act as a playable device. It can also act as a device that does modulation. And surprise, surprise, it can act as both. So if we go back into ribbon mode, there is an option here for mod only. So I guess just to show that off real quick, because it is the last piece of this. In Mod Matrix, if I go to assign and hit the button where I want it to go, it will assign that source if it's available to the modulation thing there. There are a couple different modes that change how ribbon works. Ribbon absolute plus, and ribbon relative. And basically what these say are like, okay, well, it's going to be from here all the way up to here, or it's going to be here as 0 to each side, or it's going to be relative to wherever you pushed your finger on the ribbon last. So to make this really obvious, I'm going to pick oscillator 1's, well, we could do pitch, but I have to turn this up. But what we really want to do here is with the wave select. So right now in absolute, you can see I'm not getting anything down here. Let's go ahead and turn this down a little bit. So this is traveling through the wave things. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go into our oscillator 1. Let's go to wave scan mode. Let's edit our wavetable. And we talked about this in video 1 about oscillators. So I'm going to select a bunch of wavetables. I'm going to randomize these wavetables to get something interesting. And I'm going to go back to my mod matrix and change this to wave scan. Now I can wave scan through my wavetable. So ribbon absolute, we just heard. Ribbon absolute plus gives you the whole range here. Ribbon relative doesn't work very well for this particular mod. Okay, so I said that it can do both. So let's go back into our ribbon, change this to theremin mode again, and it remembered our settings. So now you can hear it's acting as a theremin from a pitch perspective, and it's also acting as a modulator. So, you know, if we just wanted to make this a little bit more interesting, we could turn the... Here that it's affecting the wave index of both the keys that I've held down here. And the ribbon sound itself. So anyways, that is the ribbon. Next up, we're going to talk about mixer and ring noise. So let's go ahead and initialize our patch again, go into the mixer. So here you have access to mixing all 3 oscillators, volume, ring modulation, and noise mix. You can also, if we change these, let's say, change this to a 7 semitones up, and a different wave, change this to a different wave, and 17. By hearing on solo, you can solo each one of these individually. If you have a very complex patch, that's pretty useful to be able to hear what exactly is going on with what oscillator, so you know where to jump in and make your changes if you have any. Page 2, pan. And here, if you have your filters set to parallel, so that means that filter 1 and filter 2 are sort of 2 different paths. Then in the mixer section here on page 2, you can choose which filter in a continuous 0 to 100 that each oscillator is sent to. I'm going to show you something with the mixer section real quick that I really like to do. And to do that, I'm going to need to assign LFO. I'm just going to assign LFO1 to oscillator wave scan. And I need to just randomizing my wave list here. randomizing my wave scan or my wave table for LFO2. I want to get these really diverse so that you can hear what I'm going to do. Okay, so now we have 3 very diverse oscillators. So I'm going to turn them all down here. So I'm going to hit LFO3 and mixer, and that's going to create in the mod matrix a slot that will assign whatever the modulator I pressed first, and then the first parameter of the destination that I pressed. So in this case, the first destination is mixer is oscillator 1 volume, and that's fine. So now LFO3 is modulating oscillator 1 volume. And I'm going to do this for each one because what I can do is create this cross mod thing going on where the 3 diverse oscillators sort of come in and out. This is one of my favorite ways to make little soundscapes. Now the 3 LFOs that are modulating the volume of those 3 oscillators in the mixer are in reverse order modulating the panning of those oscillators. So you just get this really cool sort of seesaw-y thing, and you can imagine being able to, modulate everything here. I got lost in that. And yeah, that's a lot of what I've been doing with the Hydrasynth, is making these really complex morphing pad things and sound beds to use over for ambient music on my modular station. And it's like a modular synth unto itself because of how much modulation you can do back and forth. So sorry, I got a little lost in that. So we were talking about the mixer. I think we covered this all. So filter, pan, volume, ring, and noise. So let's talk about ring and noise real quick. Multiple noise types for maximum shaping, which is not something I'd ever thought I'd need, but actually pretty dope. Ring modulation is handled up here. Turn the noise down. Let's get something interesting going on between these. Go back to ring noise. So you can ring modulate these 2 oscillators. You can also ring modulate through the mutants. And of course, this stuff can be modulated as well. I tweeted somewhat jokingly that I never really knew that I would ever want to be a noise artist until I got this synth, because I have lost hours just making these weird, complex, noisy drones, and it's even easier with the random button, which we'll talk about near the end of this series. What else did I say that I would talk about in this section? I think that's it for this one. So we talked about the mixer and the ribbon, and ring modulator and noise. And in the next video, we'll talk about envelopes and LFOs. My name is Jeremy. This is Red Means Recording, and I hope you have a wonderful day.